World War III because Donald Trump took the worst possible option given to him in a slideshow.
In this country, we have begun to overestimate the dangers of impeachment and underestimate the dangers of a deranged president retaining control over a nuclear hyperpower.
We cannot wait around while Donald Trump is in control of the nuclear weapon.
Your objection to potentially going into World War III cannot be procedural.
The biggest danger of the Trump presidency is that we are always just a Trump whim away from nuclear war.
They say it's World War III, but I'm looking out my window. It's very quiet in those smoking craters out there.
Has to be told that it's his job to avoid World War III.
One Democratic congressman sent me a note this evening and say this president wants this war.
A few years later.
No conspiracy.
Okay. I'm just given. I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly. So I will take a couple of more questions.
There are moments of joy unfolding inside Gaza as crowds of Palestinians cheered and chanted. After 2 years of war, an influx of aid and relief will make it to residents there.
Honestly, these are indescribable feelings. We can't believe it. But thank God the war has ended and we are alive. Honestly, we hope the war does not come back and for this to be really the end, with no death and destruction afterwards.
It looks like President Trump has actually pulled off something here that many presidents before him have failed to do.
Just need to underscore what an enormous moment this is for so many people in this region, for the people of Gaza who have endured 2 years of war, for the families of these 48 remaining hostages who have endured 2 years of absolute agony. This is a watershed moment.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, it seems that we have the unthinkable, the impossible, apparently to a lot of people, to where Trump may have gotten a complete peace deal between Hamas and Israel. Now, whether or not Israel is going to hold that end of the bargain is up to discussion, but I think politically, at least the very least in the U.S., it will not go well for them at all if they don't uphold the bargain. So we'll see on how long this peace deal lasts, but nonetheless, we have to bask and enjoy it because it is something great that we need to know. And this is the actual media praising and celebrating Trump over the fact that he was able to get this peace deal at least done and over with. And I'm happy for it because like everybody else, I'm pretty tired of having to deal with these leftists, pro-Palestine, and all this other garbage that's within our country that we could be focusing on everything else. Like, we have other things that we need to worry about, like China, which is a way bigger issue. And now that we can potentially move past this garbage and move on to something better, that will be great. So without further ado, my friends, here's the clip.
Heard it again and again from a number of people today, really giving credit to President Trump for getting this deal over the finish line. What are you hearing from your sources with regard to President Trump's role in getting both parties to sign off on at least the first phase of this peace plan?
Well, certainly this is an enormous moment for the world, but also for this administration, a big win for the president who has been very personally involved in this, Lindsay.
Is a major accomplishment for President Trump, something that he's been really trying to work toward. There's been a lot of critics and questioning of whether or not he could pull off sort of negotiating and working to try to get all these sides together. Of course, there were a lot of nations involved, so this is, of course, not just a victory for President Trump, but really a number of Arab nations, Hamas, and, of course, Israel. But this is really huge news, and the president, of course, announcing it online.
So what do you make of what the president has said in a social media post, that they've signed off on the first phase of the peace plan? What does that mean to you?
Anderson, momentous day. There's not much good news in the world. This is great news. I am trying to hold it together, honestly. I've worked on this issue a very long time.
That this was not doable when President Biden was in office.
I think the biggest problem that the President Biden had is there was no pressure from Qatar, from Turkey, from Egypt. They were actually facilitating in many ways what was going on. And that is really ultimately how it all came together.
So, I mean, but I think by saying that, it's sort of an acknowledgement Trump has changed that dynamic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think
absolutely.
that.
I mean, he's clearly.
I don't know how he,
changed
and I think there's a lot that remains to learn about what prompted that change. But I do agree, yes, somehow, some way that changed.
Donald Trump on this one has demonstrated a degree of will unlike any other president, Republican or Democrat. He has pressed an Israeli prime minister in a way that none of his predecessors have ever done on an issue that prime minister considers vital to his political survival and the way he would define Israeli security requirements. So on this one, Chris, the sun, the moon, and the stars, Hamas is weaker. The Arabs imposed significant pressure. The Qataris and Turks, not an Arab country, a Muslim country, and Donald Trump. Sun, the moon, and the stars aligned to be able to envision an implementation of the first phase. And from a human point of view, Chris, that's really right now hostages, their families, and Palestinian civilians in Gaza. It offers real hope.
Yeah, so things are going quite well for Trump, at least politically wise, and it seems that it's great. Now, I'm hoping that this holds. I'm hoping that this all begins and holds steadfast so we don't have to worry about this type of stuff. But again, we'll see what happens. Now, there are apparently some main points that are being established here for the actual deal of peace, so we're going to go over that briefly, and then some of the other things that has been going on in the back end that a lot of people are not talking about because, happy times. So without further ado, my friends, let's get into this and criticize or think of what's going to happen here.
War will end immediately. So the fighting that's still continuing, we saw smoke coming out of Gaza, will cease. I don't think that'll be much of a problem. All hostages alive at the cease to be returned within 72 hours. We don't know when the clock actually starts ticking, but let's say Monday, at which time you'll have 20 plus alive and over 50 bodies collected. Right now, that's taking place, we understand, between all the different factions. There are groups that are holding hostages that are not members of Hamas but have the same militant mindset. Israel released 250 people with life sentences. That means more than likely they have killed before. Think about how difficult that is. 1,700 Gazans, some people have been captured during this fighting. Keep in mind, Yahya Sinwar was one of the people that was exchanged for one hostage last time. He ends up being the architect of the October 7th attack. Thankfully, him and his brother are dead. Hamas members could be given amnesty if they decommission their weapons and agree to give up their rockets. That was the sticking point yesterday. We believe somehow they overcame it. Hamas will not have any role in the governance of Gaza, we should hope. Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. That's not going to be an issue. The issue was really more the West Bank area where the Palestinian Authority mostly has the authority, but I don't think they're looking to take any Gaza. And I don't think that was much of something to be hurdled. Gaza will be governed by a temporary transition government. This is going to be key. And that government's going to be chaired by a peace council by President Trump. And then there's going to be people like Tony Blair, who's given basically his post-prime minister career to trying to find some way forward on a two-state solution or whatever's possible in the area. The question is, if you see Westerners in that region, we know they were targets when the Iraqi transition was taking place, will they be targets again? And the possible path to Palestinian self-determination and statehood. War will end immediately.
Yeah, so the last one here that we have that is questionable and I don't think it's ever going to happen is the possible path to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, mostly due to the fact that I don't think Israel is even going to remotely agree to this. Here's a few reasons why I don't think Israel is going to do this. I think that when Israel does actually do something like this, or rather they do, if they quote-unquote allow it, which they won't do, is because this would allow Palestine to be able to get weapons and military stuff like that to plan their next attack, which means that doesn't mean they're not potentially doing it already, but it would just make them be able to defend themselves and then fully unattack Israel, and they're very close. So I highly, highly doubt that Israel is going to let that happen. So what most likely will end up happening is that another international, worldwide, or what have you body is going to take over, and it's just going to become like an international state or what have you. And there won't be any possible way for Palestinian to be its self-determination or statehood, because I highly doubt Israel is going to allow this to happen. However, we don't know, because we don't know if Israel will even keep its end of the bargain. So we'll see on how that goes. And I don't think it's politically good. First off, it would be very bad for Trump for Israel to go back on their word like they always do, and then it would be very politically bad for Israel, because that would just make Israel want to get kicked out of the U.S. even more.
Just go to the Wienerburger
too. So, yeah. But with that being said, though, we have this here to where this woman is asking the very important questions here of now that President Trump has made peace with Gaza, were all the pro-Palestinian people, should they be celebrating this, or was this never really about peace for them? And no, it wasn't. But we'll see what she has to say about this, right?
Or like, where are all the pro-Palestine people when Trump just made this announcement and there's officially a deal being made? Like, everyone that I know is celebrating the fact that the hostages are coming home and that Israel is stepping back. So where are all of the people who were protesting and celebrating? If this was not an anti-Jewish thing, why are you not all screaming from the rooftops? I'm a little confused, because I literally can't get rid of the amount of pro-Palestine on my For You page. So I was very excited to see all of the pro-Palestine content that would be celebrating the announcement. I'm a little confused. Where are you? If it's not about Jews and it's about Gaza, and this deal was made that Israel will be pulling away, where's the celebration? Because in my eyes, you should be celebrating more than you celebrated on October 7th, right? Or are we not really wanting peace?
Well, there's a few things here. I think it's a grift for a lot of these people. I think now that this is over, their grift is done. They never really cared about the Palestinians. They never once cared, because it's all a grift. It's all for them to make money. And now that this is gone, they're not very celebratory for it, because the grift is over. Their grift is done. They can't do anything. And two, they probably are anti-Jewish or hate Jewish people as well. So there's both can be true at the same time. Now, here's the thing. I'm becoming very, very anti-Israel. I've been anti-Israel for a while, but this is a big thing that I have been a thing too. Is that I don't think Israel's going to keep trusting the word. I think somewhere down the line they're going to mess up somewhere later, and I am getting real sick and tired of Israel and their BS. This does not mean I really like Hamas either. I don't think Hamas is great at all, but at the same time, Israel can't be trusted either. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens. Now, we have this here, obviously, of all the influencers and producers who have built their business model around the Gaza are really worried right now. Now, obviously, this is satire, but I figured I'd show this because it is kind of funny.
Reports are coming out that Donald Trump has said that there is a ceasefire in progress right now. And I thought I'd be really excited about it, but I realized I don't know what I'm going to do with myself if there's a ceasefire. I'm supposed to get a job now? Or, I mean, I need this. Are we not going to protest anymore? Maybe it's not too late to see if we can... What am I saying?
I don't know. You didn't even tell me when I was supposed to cut you off.
Oh, okay. What was it? What was...
Yeah, so obviously it's a bit funny, but it is true, because their whole business model, their whole motto for the longest time was to be around Gaza, support Gaza this, Palestine that. And you still have stupid morons that are just saying that, Gaza is, they're going to retaliate, or Israel's going to retaliate, what have you. But take the W if we can take the W for now. We'll deal with Israel as it comes forth. Of course, we have this people out here chanting Trump's name. So they're celebrating Trump. They're happy that this is over. We even have Fetterman, John Fetterman, a Democrat, is praising Donald Trump over this.
Do you think the president deserves a Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, I mean, if this sticks, I think the whole point of having a Nobel Peace Prize is for ending wars and promoting peace. And I'm going to make a direct appeal to the president.
Do you think the president deserves...
Yeah, so it's just the Democrats are in complete free fall, right? It's done for the Democrats. They have nothing else. They're doing this stupid government shutdown, which is failing in their every single regard. The government shutdown has been actually a huge net benefit because we've gotten a lot of things done throughout the past few days here, the past week, of all these W's, and including the W's with the Gaza and Israel peace deal. So I say keep the government down, shut down even longer. I mean, this has just been a net positive overall. This could be horrible. This could be bad because, we have little sneaky Israel coming around, but we'll see on how that goes because Netanyahu's neck is on the line here, and I don't know if he really wants to mess with Donald Trump and the rest of Americans because that could lead to him and everybody else getting kicked out of the U.S. Because a lot of Americans are not very happy with Israel, and they've been fed up for a while. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.